So as 2014 comes to a close, it's time to look back and see some of the greatest films and some of the worst films that have come out this past year. Hey everyone, what's up? I'm Kolton, and today I'm here to tell you guys my top 10 favorite movies of the year and top worst movies of the year. So, before I start, I want to let you know there are a whole lot of great movies that came out this year that just didn't make my list. I would have loved to put on my list, but there's just so much you could put in the top 10. For my top worst though, I couldn't really put 10 in my top worst because I'm one of those guys, if I know the movie sucks, I'm not going to go see it. So there was 6 movies this year that came out I wanted to go see and they sucked. So let's start with my top 10 best movies and then I'll get to my top 6 worst. So anyway, let's begin. Number 10 for my top favorite movie of the year is Godzilla. Now, I wasn't expecting much for Godzilla when going into it, but throughout the movie, it was a great movie, and every single guy who went into that movie, we weren't expecting really a story. What we were expecting is monsters fighting, Godzilla kicking butt. That's what we wanted to see. We got it. Mission accomplished. Godzilla, number 10. Number 9, Boyhood. Now, if you haven't seen Boyhood, I really suggest you see it. Because this movie was filmed over the last 10 years. It was a movie 10 years in the making. Every year they got to make a little more of this movie. And we actually got to see this boy grow up to go to college. It was great actually seeing a story of how a normal boy grows up and a particular different life situations. So, Boyhood, my number 9. Number 8, Edge of Tomorrow. Now, this is one movie I didn't expect coming at all. Not at all. I was expecting this movie to be just another Tom Cruise movie. Nope, this movie was actually really good. I was surprised, really surprised. Tom Cruise did a great job, the story was great. There was a lot of funny parts in it. The whole movie was great. The trailer really didn't tell you anything about the movie at all. So, Edge of Tomorrow, my number 8. Number 7, Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb. Now, I know there's a lot of mixed reviews. Some people don't like it, some people do. I'm one of those people that really enjoyed it. For the final night in Night at the Museum movie, it was great. But I think we all really wanted to go see it for one reason. It was really for John Williams, because Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb was John Williams' last film that we'll ever see. So, the movie was great. I enjoyed every single part of it. So, the end of a franchise, it was great. Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb, my number 7. Number 6, Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, this should be lower on my list, but there's some other great movies I enjoyed more than Guardians of the Galaxy. But anyway, Guardians of the Galaxy was also none of those movies I thought is going to be another Marvel movie. Which, nothing wrong with Marvel movies. Oh, I love Marvel movies. Just thought it doesn't look as great as some of the other Marvel movies that we've seen already. Nope. Going to this movie, it was so much fun. The movie was great. It was hilarious. There were some great songs from my parents' time. And it was just a great movie altogether. So, definitely, Guardians of the Galaxy, my number 6. Number 5, X-Men Days of Future Past. I'm not gonna lie, I knew going to this movie, it was gonna be awesome. I came out, it was awesome. Wolverine, Mystique, Magneto, all of the original X-Men characters coming back. Well, most of them. Anyway, it was great seeing how the first class characters came back and reacted with the future X-Men. Yeah, past X-Men with future X-Men coming together, working together. It was awesome. If you haven't seen X-Men Days of Future Past, I highly recommend it. So, Days of Future Past, my number 5. Number 4, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Now, after watching the first one, I was excited for this one coming out. Rise of the Planet of the Apes was a great movie. And I didn't think Dawn of the Planet of the Apes could top it. Boy, was I wrong. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was so awesome. Apes taking on the human race and destroying? Yeah, I know that sounds kind of really bad. I'm actually rooting for that. But the movie was awesome. The story was great. The acting was great. Heck, the motion capture was amazing. The apes looked really real. I enjoyed the movie so much. So definitely Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, my number 4. Number 3, The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. Wow. Perfect movie to the final part of an entire saga. Kind of like Star Wars. They did Lord of the Rings first and then did The Hobbit. So, the final part of The Hobbit. It was amazing. And I got to see this in IMAX 3D high frame rate. So 48 frames per second. It was super smooth. I loved it. Even though some people don't like high frame rates, I can understand why. You just gotta really be passionate about new technology and watching things in new technology to really love it. I loved it. I'll probably do a video on why I love high frame rates or something like that in the future. But anyway, yes, the movie was fantastic. The acting was great. The cinematography was amazing. The action sequences was amazing. This movie kept me on the edge of my seat from first to last frame. It was amazing. So, The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, my number 3. Number 2, the Lego Movie. I know, right? Now, if it wasn't for my number 1 coming out this year, the Lego Movie would be my number 1 best movie of the year. But since my number 1 came out, I had to put this as my number 2, sadly. So, the Lego Movie. I'm just gonna give it to you straight. I wanted to see the Lego Movie for years and years. Finally, I heard it was coming out. I had to go see it. It came out on my birthday as well. What are the odds? So I was in the theater on my birthday. I got to watch a movie I've been waiting to see for years. It was awesome. This movie reminded me so much of my childhood. It just got to me right here of me remembering all the fun times I had with Legos. And the song, I just couldn't get it out of my head the entire year. Everything is awesome. If you haven't heard the song, be warned. You're gonna get addicted to that song. Quick. So, the Lego Movie is my number 2 best movie of the year. Number 1, Interstellar. Now, I know Interstellar has lots of mixed reviews. There's people who love it, there's people who hate it, there's some people who aren't sure about it. I'm one of those people who loved it. And I'll tell you why. Interstellar is the only movie this year, or in the past maybe 10 years or so, that actually made me tear up. I know, I don't cry in movies or tear up in movies at all, because I know they're not that real. But Interstellar had such an impacting story. It actually brought me really into the story and really showed me a really good the story and the backstory behind these characters. Well, some of them, not really a lot of them, but really showed emotion. These characters really did show emotion. And there was one part in the movie, or 2 parts, I just couldn't take. It was just so emotional, I just couldn't take it. And the story was just fantastic. Now for the ending, again, there's a lot of mixed reviews for the ending. Some people hated it, some people didn't like it, some people liked it. I didn't mind it. I thought it was great. The movie was fantastic. So if you haven't seen Interstellar, go see it, because Interstellar is my #1 best movie of the year. Again, if Interstellar did not come out this year, the Lego Movie would be my #1. So let's get to my top 6 worst movies of the year now. I'm not going to spend much time on this, so let's go for it pretty quickly. Number 6, Rio 2. Yeah. First one was okay. Second one, no. Watched it, no. Don't care ever see it again. Don't make a Rio 3. You hear me, Fox? Don't make a Rio 3. Number 5, Annie. Besides 2 musical numbers in the film, I just hated the rest. All of the other music numbers I felt embarrassed watching because they were just horribly done. The film was completely lazy. Sure, there was some good acting in it, but really, if you haven't seen Annie, any of the Annies, the first few minutes of the movie, you pretty much know the ending already. It's that predictable. So, definitely Annie was my number 5 worst movie of the year, sadly. I had really high hopes for it. Number 4, Maleficent. Now, I know this is one movie that is a lot of people's favorite movie of the year. But, if this was any other film studio making this movie, I would have been fine with it. But, since Disney made it and changed the entire backstory of one of your most popular Disney villains, changed the entire Sleeping Beauty story, that's where I draw the line, Disney. Disney, if you change one of your most popular Disney villains, you have messed up. Big time, Disney. I just could not let that go. And after Maleficent was done, I was like, no, sorry. It was entertaining to watch, but I just hated the fact you changed her. I couldn't let it go. So sorry, Maleficent is my number 4 worst movie of the year. Number 3, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm sorry, but the Turtles couldn't even save this movie. Megan Fox, she can't act at all. Period. Zip. And the Turtles looked terrible. I'm not gonna lie to you. They looked horrifying, and yeah. Every time I see the Turtles, they just keep getting bigger. Shouldn't happen. They should be getting smaller. That'd be a cool movie. Seeing smaller turtles beat up big guys. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see big guys beating up same size kind of guys. No. So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, my number 3. Number 2, If I Stay. This movie, the trailer to this movie was a lie. This movie has hardly anything to do with her deciding if she wants to live or die. In fact, her decision takes no more than maybe 10 minutes of this whole movie. The rest of the movie is nothing but a backstory. Nothing else. So, If I Stay should be called Backstory Movie. I'm sorry, but this movie was terrible. Just terrible. I'm sorry. I never want to see this movie again. If anyone ever tells me, hey, let's go watch If I Stay, I'm like, no, I am not watching that movie again. Terrible movie. My opinion, terrible movie. So, If I Stay, my number 2. And my number 1 worst movie of the year, Noah. Yeah. You know how last year my worst movie of 2013 was This Is the End because of religious issues? Same thing for this movie. If you ever read the story of Noah, you would know that this movie makes a complete mockery out of it. They completely change it up, except for a few points. The ark, the animals, the flood, that's pretty much the same. But everything else, a joke. Just add it on, makes no sense whatsoever. The whole movie was just a complete mess. Just a mess. I hated it. From the first frame to the last frame of the movie, it was a complete joke. I hated it. Sure, the acting was good. That's all I can say about it. The rest of the movie just was pathetic. I hated it. I hated it. So Noah is definitely my #1 worst movie of the year. So those are my top worst and best movies of the year. What are yours? Tell me about it in the comments below. And anyway guys, this is the end of the year. Tomorrow starts 2015. Wow, can't believe it. This whole year has been gone by so fast. So anyway guys, how has your year been? And be sure to tell me what your top and worst movies of the year were in the comments below. And of course, as always, bring you guys into the world of entertainment. I'm Kolton Steele. If you like this video, make sure to smack that like button. And be sure to follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. All this will be in the description below. And of course, as always, guys, if you want to see more, click right here to see more. Happy New Year's, guys. And I'll talk to you guys